to this computer. Okay. Hi, everybody. I wanted to welcome you back to our show. And today I have my dear friend Laura with me. She and I met actually on a trip that we both earned to, I want to say Boca, but Cabo, Los Cabos
Yeah.
was the trip. I don't know why Boca just went to my head. Anyway,
Dreaming of traveling.
yeah, I miss the travel for sure. So we met there, and what she has done with this business has been an absolute, just I have so much respect for her. It's been amazing, and what she went from being what she calls herself a corporate climber to an entrepreneur, and now she's a homeschooling mom of 3 as well, and they're all young kids. So I will let you, Laura, just share a little bit more about you and your currently your life, what it looks like.
Yeah, a little crazy at times, but I think everyone's life has that dash of crazy in it. But yes, I've been in business for 5 years, and this is our first year of homeschooling, like true. The teacher, we've picked the curriculum, and just learning to adjust through that has been interesting but good at the same time. And so having had my business and having had established that prior to this has just been an added blessing, because I am able to take so much of what I've learned actually in my business and apply it to this homeschooling life, and with time management and all kinds of really great things. And so I've just appreciated being able to, nothing is wasted in your life, right? Nothing. And so all that I've learned through being an entrepreneur, and being able to use that in this new stage of life that we're in, where I'm doing both, has been fantastic. So yeah, that's where we're at
Yeah,
now.
yeah, I'm sure. So tell us, how did you first learn about Rodan and Fields?
Well, it was social media through Facebook. I would say more of an acquaintance friend online had shared about it during a Black Friday event. And I had just that same day had my other products that, mind you, were not working successfully. They were discontinued, and it was just perfect timing. Perfect timing that I saw that. I felt like at the time that I had tried so many things unsuccessfully, and so when I found out about Rodan and Fields, which I had never heard of before then, it was like, what do I have to lose? Let me give the products a try. I'm definitely intrigued. It comes with a solid backing by dermatologists that created it, and I'm game. Let's do it.
So what impressed you the most about it?
Well, from a product perspective, it was that it was, dermatologist created, and they had already created a successful product through, their other brand. And so that gave me some peace of mind. Also the 60-day guarantee, because again, I mean, let's be real, like nobody wants to waste their money on trying something new again when they feel like they haven't had great success. And so that was the product piece of it. But the business piece of it, coming from a retail background, a corporate retail background, I did my research on like, where did they start? Where were they at the time that I was introduced to them? What kind of performance had they seen? And what could I expect to happen in the years ahead? And when I saw the success rate that they had achieved so far, at the time they were number 2 in all of, premium skincare. And when I looked at the projections as well, I was like, okay, this really is a no-brainer for me. Knowing how long it takes for you to become a successful retail brand, that was impressive for me. So that was kind of the two things, like solid product, solid company, and it just made sense.
So did you become a customer first and then?
No, I actually just jumped right into the business. And I won't say that I had all the confidence in myself at the time. It was like, okay, confidence in the brand, the business, but definitely not not in myself. I've never been an entrepreneur prior to this. So there was a lot of fear involved with that. But it was an attitude of like, what do I have to lose? I am in this corporate position that doesn't really fill me. I definitely have a void. I'm just doing it to make a paycheck. I'm not doing it to make a difference. I'm not doing it to grow as a person. I'm just really doing it to provide income for our family. And knowing that I wasn't feeling fulfilled in that, and I still honestly didn't have the flexibility that I wanted to be able to put my family first and my career second. I still had to work on someone else's schedule, work when they told me to work. And I appreciated having, been employed, but at the same time, it wasn't everything I wanted it to be. And so when I looked at this opportunity again, just from a numbers perspective, it was like, what do I have to lose? Nothing. Like if it doesn't work out, okay, if the business side that is doesn't work out, at least I tried. If I just find success in the products, like I will be ecstatic. I was dealing with acne, it had really depleted my confidence. And so it was like, why not? Why not just go for it? Nothing to lose.
Yeah, yeah, I think confidence is definitely something that we all, um, could use a little bit more of, especially, before starting any business. I mean, I have experience starting a couple, and I can totally tell you that it's very, very true. Uh, so, did you have any sales or, any other business experience prior to jumping into Red Enfield?
Mhm. Did I have any?
Yeah.
No. I mean, I guess if you call that job when you're 16 years old, working at Target sales experience. Other than that, no, I really didn't. So it was a whole new thing for me that I had to learn everything that I needed to learn in order to find that level of success that I was looking for.
Okay. Okay. So you learned it in the process, right?
Oh yeah, learn
Oh,
as you earn. That's how it goes.
that's right. And I love that. Actually, that was one of my favorite parts too, was not having to go get another MBA, or another graduate degree to be able to
Mhm.
start. Um, and as Darren Hardy, I was just listening to him recently. He said that it's only about 10% about knowledge, and it's 90%. Success is 10% knowledge and 90% actual practice. So um
Exactly.
yeah, yeah. So tell us a little bit about what has your experience been, owning your own Red Fields business, and what has it allowed you to do for yourself and your family?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. It definitely, I think, being an entrepreneur and owning a business, it's not all rainbows and sunshine 24/7, right? It definitely comes with its challenges. But overall, it has been an incredible experience. It's taught me so many things about myself that I didn't know I needed to improve on before. So many things, strengths I didn't even realize I had. And so I feel really blessed in order to, uncover all of those things. And I feel like um, just given our structure, given the support that we give each other, even just you and I doing this together, right, working with one another, that piece of it has been pretty important for me. And one of the things that I said, was going to be kind of a make or break decision for me is that not having any experience, not, in business, in sales, anything like that, it felt really scary. But knowing that there was this community of people that I could turn to for even just that support vocally was a huge piece of it. So having that and then being able to push forward in the challenges that come along with running a business has been a huge, huge piece. Still to this day, 5 years later, like I still rely on our community for that support. And what it's been able to do, honestly, there's like no words as to the level of blessings that we feel from this. As cheesy as that may sound, honestly, about a year into my business, I was able to walk away from that career that I had spent almost 18 years working on and continue to then build my business and have it grow and grow and grow year after year from just being willing to take the chance, being willing to commit, persevere, and grow and learn along the way. And what that's done for my family life, there's really nothing, there's no amount of money that can be given to us to really be able to, what's the word I'm looking for? Just share how amazing that has been, right? Like being able to put my family first the way I want to put them first, to have them and my kids see you can do something like this. You can create something for yourself. It doesn't mean that you have to if you don't want to, but I want you to see all of what's possible. You can go to school and work for someone else if that's where you see yourself. You can start something for yourself if you want that independence and want to, have your creative outlet. You can give back in so many ways through your business. Like what it's been able for me to model as a mother has been huge. So I think that just so many blessings have come from this, and ultimately being able to walk away from that corporate career was huge. So huge.
I know. Yeah. And I mean, you're doing homeschooling with, two, young kids, and the third one is on virtual learning. And it's just, um, it must be so freeing to not have somebody to answer to, right? When, and you control your own schedule.
Oh, exactly, exactly. And it's really just given us the overall flexibility that we love and appreciate as a family. And so, not having to answer to anyone is a huge benefit, a huge benefit. I will say, you have to answer to yourself, right? In order to find that level of success, you want to create that discipline. And I don't know that I started off like that, but you learn that really fast that you do have to have that discipline in order to, reach the goals that you want, reach that level of success that you want. But when you do, it's beyond worth it.
Exactly, exactly. So tell us a little bit about, what has been the biggest challenge, in your business, and how have you overcome it, or maybe you're still overcoming it.
Well, as they say, every new level is a new devil, right? So every time you work for something else, that next goal, there is always some sort of, doubt that creeps in your mind. Can you really achieve that? So that's ongoing, I think, overall. But I will say probably one of the hardest things to work on as an entrepreneur is your mindset, because it's so easy to come back to, what may have been in the past or what we thought of ourselves in the past, and push forward to say, no, that's not true. I can change this. So I think that just really continuing to work on my mindset is an ongoing thing, because, in business, what you have to offer is not going to be for everyone, and that's okay. That's how this works. But being able to grow into that space of like, this is, hearing no from someone isn't a personal attack on you, right? It's just they're not interested in what it is you have to offer. They don't see it as a solution for whatever problems, they might have going on in their lives that this could potentially be for. And so I think just learning to get that tough skin and shift how you think about hearing, the no, and not taking it as rejection, but instead saying, that's okay. They don't need what I have to offer. I can move on and help someone else and serve someone else that does really need what I have. So I think that's an ongoing thing, is just reminding yourself that no doesn't mean anything negative towards you. And it's just part of what it is to own a business. And then just continuing to work on that mindset always, like every day. I think they say like the positive that you put in your brain really only lasts about 24 hours. So it's a daily thing that you have to do.
That's for sure. Yeah, that reminds me of, Zig Ziglar's quote about, uh, taking a bath. Like, your bath only lasts for so long, so you have to take it. You have to take one every day.
It
It's
is
similar to
so
motivation,
true.
right?
It is so true. It is
Yeah.
so true.
Yeah, yeah. And as far as the no's, I mean, I see it as, a not right now, because, if you think about generally in sales, only about 1 to 2% are, you find them in the right moment in their life to actually take advantage of whatever it is that, you have to offer. But the rest of 98 to 99%, it's a matter of building that relationship and providing value to them, and and really serving them in various ways, that are
Exactly.
maybe completely unrelated to your product or service, right? But it's really serving them, and their time a lot of the time comes. It could be a week from now, could be a month from now, could be a year from now, could be 10 years from now. Right.
Exactly. Yep.
So as
Totally.
long as you live with it.
Yep.
That's fantastic. So uh, can you give us, because you do have three kids and you're homeschooling, and you're so busy, you got everything else, all this other stuff on your plate as well. Can you kind of walk us through a little bit through like what your day looks like and when you're working your business?
So I did not start off again like this. Like this business has definitely helped me evolve as a person. And so what I began to realize is that I needed a morning routine. I didn't have one, and I needed to find one because I knew that in that time frame I could do things that were really going to help set my day in motion in the best way possible. So I will get up about 2 hours before my kids have to get up, and that's time for me to do more than just business. It's enjoy my coffee, journaling, prayer time, and also then begin to set up my day from a business perspective and like what has to happen that are those most important things, needle moving things of the day. So I'll make sure I review those, and then I'll get started on one, maybe two of them, so that things are in motion, because it's not going to get done right unless you make the choice to do it and make the time for it. So I'll do that. We start school, and when it is their lunchtime, that's when I'll take an opportunity to respond back to some messages and answer a few questions that people may have had for me. And then we continue after lunch with a little bit more of school before we end our day. Once the day is ended, that's when they get time to, be on a screen, play a game if they want to, do other things for about an hour. And in that time frame, that's when I'm like, okay, the door is shut. I'm in here. I'm working on, wherever I'm working. It's like this is my little zone of time that I can stay focused and, you know, make new connections, get out to people, do any marketing, whatever things that are really those needle moving things of the day. That's when I spend that chunk of time. And honestly, the rest of the evening, depending on the day, depending on the amount of people I'm having conversations with, it might just be send a quick text while I'm cooking dinner, fitting it into those nooks and crannies of those hours remaining in the day. And when I put my kids to bed, and it's all quiet in the house, that's when I set up my next day. So I think what I found is a nighttime routine is just as important as the morning routine. So I set my nighttime routine in place, which is preparing for school so that I don't have to take time the next day to worry about that. And also preparing whatever I want to, work on the next day in business. And just if there's any lost messages, things like that, that will all get done in maybe an hour at the most at the end of the day. And then it's, unwind and go to bed, start the day off. I really have learned over the last year to, as much as I can, commit to that nighttime routine, and also going to bed pretty much around the same time every day, creating that consistency. Because again, like all those small decisions really do make a big difference over time and impact how you feel the next day. So,
Exactly, exactly. And this might be kind of natural follow on to what you just said, but what is the biggest lesson you would say you've learned about, being a business owner?
which one do I pick? So many.
You can say a couple,
Oh my goodness. I think with anything, right, it is being willing to commit and be consistent. Like what I did for my business pretty early on, I definitely didn't start off like this, but what I did in my mind was I took quitting off the table. Like that just wasn't going to be an option. It's still not an option to this day, because I knew if I kept it as an option, then I'd have one foot in and one foot out. And I don't like to work like that because that doesn't deliver the results that you want, right? That changes the decisions that I'm going to make about what I'm going to do. And so I've just learned to take quitting off the table and commit with consistency. That includes perseverance, grit, like all of those things that come along with being consistent. So I would say that's probably one of the biggest lessons that I learned. And second to that, again, is just really working on strengthening my mind every single day, because you will fall into those places where you are comparing yourself to someone else's success, or, thinking you should have been farther along than you are, even if you're not comparing to someone else. And, having too many people say no in one day and it's already been a hard day for you and whatever. And so there's going to be things like entrepreneurship is a roller coaster ride, the best one I've ever been on, in all honesty, but it's a roller coaster ride. Like, it's like parenting. You've got your highs, you've got your lows, and you have to be willing to ride the lows in order to get to the highs. And the highs are always worth it, always worth it, but you have to be willing to ride the roller coaster.
You're so right, and I love your comparison to parenting. I think it was Darren Hardy who wrote The Entrepreneur's Roller Coaster.
Mm,
I haven't read it yet, but it's on my list.
sounds good and sounds true.
Yeah, yeah. So what do you think, in your opinion, what is the, you know, biggest reason that people fail in our business?
um, I think it goes back to, again, just kind of having one foot in, one foot out,
Mhm.
and not sure if they really want to commit, whether it's looking at it as like, oh, it's just my little side thing. It's just a little hobby I do. It's having that like mentality about how they view their business, again, really impacts the actions that they're going to take. And I listened to this podcast probably a year ago, 6 months ago, with Ed Milet and John Assaraf, and he said that when John said that when he was about 19 years old, he met this mentor, soon to become mentor in his life, and he said, "I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you change your life." Da da da, all these things, because he was on a bad path at that time. And he said, "But what I want to know is, are you interested or are you committed? Because if you're interested, you're going to, sometimes do the things, you're going to give it a shot, you're going to try, but something's going to get hard and you're going to take a step back and maybe you're going to quit. But if you're committed, you're going to do whatever it takes to find the success and reach the goals that you have set for yourself." And so I want to know if you're interested or committed. So I think that that is the mindset that a lot of people have, is that they're more interested than they are committed. And so you have to make that choice. Like I said, taking quitting off the table, because that means I'm totally committed and not going to do anything else. And so that's probably the number one reason people fail, because life is going to be hard no matter which way you slice it. Life is hard, whether it's hard because you're stepping out of your comfort zone and working towards achieving a goal that you have, or whether you're stuck in the same place day in and day out, just trying to make ends meet and, live day by day. No matter what, it's going to be hard, but you get to choose the hard that you're working towards. So,
Yes, I agree completely. Pick your hard, right?
mhm.
Um, well, this has been fantastic. You've actually, answered, this has been very, you know, I didn't have to answer, ask some of the questions, because you kind of organically, this conversation has flown absolutely, amazingly well. And thank you for sharing your story. And those nuggets are absolutely invaluable. Hopefully somebody listening would be inspired and will continue to to persevere and keep going because of your words,
Oh, thank
and
you.
your encouragement. And just before we close, what are give us some parting words of wisdom, for
Oh
somebody who
gosh.
maybe is considering starting their own business, either with Renee and Fields or another business. It's I think the advice would be very similar.
Well, it's going to be a little bit faith based, I'm going to say. And the reason I say that is because I believe that we were, all created with God having a purpose for us. But that takes time to evolve. That takes time for it to come out as we make a choice to grow, and step out of our comfort zones and really step out in faith. Because, you probably the same as me, like, we didn't know what would happen when we chose to say yes to this or anything brand new that we try, even homeschooling. I was scared out of my mind to try that, right? But I think just making that choice to step out in faith, knowing that you're called to a greater purpose to really serve other people around you, um, and just see what happens. Nothing, again, like I said in the beginning of this, nothing in your life is ever wasted. So, whatever you're feeling some little pull towards, a little bit of passion towards, whatever that is, whether it's this business or anything else in your life, step into it, give it a try, and see where it leads you, because you're never going to know what that would be for you or the people around you that would be impacted by that if you don't try. God has this purpose for you, and taking those little step by step really helps you grow into that and become all that He has really created you to be. So I think just stepping out in faith and knowing that it's not going to be a perfect road. It's going to be this zigzag back and forth road that eventually gets you where you want to go. It's always worth it. It's always
Yeah.
worth it.
Yeah. Take that first step and learn to enjoy the journey, right?
Mm-hmm.
I
Yep.
mean, we would have never met if it wasn't for this business.
I know.
And
I
but
know.
for that amazing trip, it was my next to last, you know,
Right.
before COVID. But this is not gonna last forever. So,
Right.
but thank you so much, Laura, for your wisdom, for hopping on and sharing. I so appreciate you, and I know that people are going to be definitely inspired and
Oh,
empowered by what you said.
thank you for having me. This was fun.
Yes. So I'm gonna just stop. Let's see. Stop recording.